Hello everyone and thanks for hanging out with me. Now it's time to talk about the likes and dislikes of this Volkswagen eGolf. And we start with the likes because, hello, positive. And it is the ride quality. Ooh. Yeah, this is the thing. This car is amazingly quiet. The ride quality is really good when you're going over bumps and whatever. It feels nice. It feels great in corners. It's just very nice to sit here. The seats are amazingly comfortable. They hold you in place very nicely. The steering feel is awesome. So how you steer even at high speeds, it's just a very pleasant drive, and it's also amazingly quiet in here. The car itself is really quiet. I like to drive this car. The power is 100 kilowatt, but it's really fine. No, it's not amazingly powerful, but still it's enough to pass, and it's enough to have fun in here. I like it. Like I said, the seats are amazing. My wife again said that the seats are too long and it's not comfortable for her, but I don't trust her anymore with this, because we had the same car, an eGolf, in 2018, and she said those are the best seats she ever sat in. So I don't trust her anymore when she says the seats are not comfortable. Then I want to talk about the things that I like that are not amazingly impressive but still nice. First is the colors of the instrument cluster. Instrument cluster at all is really nicely done. And when you use cruise control, then you have those little arrows if you drive too slow or too high, and the colors and everything I show you. Let's turn it on to 45 kilometers. And then if I speed up, then it's red. And if there would be a car in front of me and I would go slower than this, then it will go into the green. The same on the left with the power. You can see 0 to 100% of the power. And if you have power limit, then this blue line just goes up and up and up. This is when, of course, your battery is very low. I like that in the menu for the climate, you can see where the air is going. You have, if there's nobody sitting in the passenger seat, only the driver's seat will be heated or cooled. And you can also see when you turn up the heat, when you turn up the temperature, at what time the heat will set in, because the arrow in this picture will turn red. I also like that you can see the instant consumption of the car. I even have it on right now. And if I stand, then it will show me the instant consumption while standing in kilowatt hours per hour. And let's see what it is with the AC off. And you can see 300, 400 watts. Now I turn the climate off. 200 watts if I turn the lights on. Woo! 600 watts. Lights off. Huh, interesting. I like that you still have a button to turn off the e-sound. Now it's on. It's not that annoying in the car, and you can turn it off. I like that. I also like that the charge port, to open it, doesn't need a button. I like that a lot. In the Ioniq, when you have to press a button in the car, so the charge port is opening so many times, you are at the charge port and to press a button. Here you just do it at the car, at the port. Now let's go through the things that are not that amazing, but it's not a big deal. First is there's only one USB port. And this is very hard to reach if you want to plug in when the car is in park. It's just the gear lever is totally in the way. Second thing is the gear lever itself. It's a bit outdated, that you still have that big chunky gear lever to change your gear status. Yeah, it's a bit weird in the navigation that you don't have this. It shows me the time when I arrive in the instrument cluster and in the infotainment system and how many kilometers it is, but it doesn't show me the next time when I have to change direction ever or go somewhere. The only way to see that is if you put your view of your instrument cluster in navigation. Then it appears on the right side. It just says 400 meters straight, which is not true. I have to go, should go right. Now it shows me. Yeah, this is the only way. In the infotainment system, it doesn't show that at all. Not even before. So now I have to go right. Doesn't tell me anywhere. I'm pretty sure that the sound will tell me, so the voice, but it doesn't show me. In my opinion, the regen could be a bit stronger. I mean, right now I accelerate fully and then full regen. So to go in here, I need to, if I want to go left, I have to touch the brake. Yeah, it could be stronger. The other cars with way stronger regen, and I prefer that. So one pedal driving, not really possible. The seats are a bit low, so I had to get used to it. Every time I go into the car, I'm very low when I'm seated. And there's also a battery bump right underneath the seat, so you can put your feet very close to the seat. But that's okay, that's very common these days. But again, the seat is really low, and if I put it higher, then my view outside is a bit weird. The view outside of the front window overall is like the E-Up. It's a narrow view, and then the rear view mirror comes down. So it's not that bad to look outside here in the front, but there are other cars are way better with it. Just gives you a safe feeling when you can see everything and don't have to look around the rear view mirror. What I also don't like that much is the range display, the gasometer. It changes way too fast. I had the same thing in the E-Up. So you drive with the constant speed, I don't know, for hours, and then there's a bit of an uphill, and the range will go down in a minute. The same when you go downhill, it will go up in no time, and I think it should react a bit slower. Just because there's a tiny hill for a kilometer or so will not change your range that drastically. What you also have to know is this car with the power and the front wheel drive, when it's wet, even with summer tires, you will get spinning wheels. And then the ABS kicks in, it sounds horrible. And in the winter with winter tires, you also will get that a lot. So you need good traction, the same as the Hyundai Kona. Trip meter reset. This car has 3 trips, so would say trip A, trip B, trip C, but no. There's an, as you can see, since start, long term, and since charging. Since start and since charging will reset itself. So charging, of course, when you charged, and then it will reset. And since start resets itself when the car is standing for 2 hours. So the really only trip that you control the whole time is the long term, and I would love to have 2 at least that I control. A weird thing happened to me with this car and keyless entry. It has that when I have the key in the pocket and I get close to the car and I have the door handle in my hand and press, not really a button, but I press something, it opens. And this was the same with the Ioniq, for example. But when I want to close it, it doesn't work. Nothing happens when I are outside of the car and do that. And I checked everything and I couldn't make it work. But now let's get to the things that are really not good in the Volkswagen e-Golf. And number 1 is the no active cooling of the battery. So that means if the battery gets hot because you're driving fast, using a lot of power, or if you're charging, that means the battery gets warm, and when the battery is warm, then the BMS, the battery management system, tells the car to not charge as fast. And that means if you, for example, do a long distance trip and you charge, and then you drive a bit, go back to a charger, you will get very slow charging speed. I did an extreme test with my Raccobi test, where the 4th time when I was charging, and that was like half an hour, 40 minutes in between, I got, what was it, 14 kilowatt or something at 10%. That's extremely slow. So this car is really not a long distance driver. If you charge in between once, so 300 kilometers or so, totally fine. But if you have to charge more in between your destination, it just takes too long. And this is also the next thing, the range. When you drive slowly, 250 kilometers in the summer is doable. In the winter, with winter tires, it will be under 200. If you go a bit faster, 150 or so. And there's just so many EVs out right now that they can do way better. It's just, this car is old, and they stopped producing it in December. It's just what you need to know. Yeah, what's always sad is when an EV doesn't show you the charging speed. So if you, and it also, like the e-up, when you are sitting in the car and you don't have the ignition on, you can't see if the car is still charging. So when you open the door, the same with the e-up, then it tells you how long it will charge to 100%, and it will the green plug will blink. If it's white, then it's just plugged in but not charging. But and when you have ignition on, you can see that. But otherwise, when you have ignition off and you sit in the car, you can't see it. So you have to open the door the whole time to see that. Well, it all depends if you're doing this and if this is important to you. Yeah, but that's it. As you can see, if we use this car to go to work and do little trips, like I said, 200, 300 kilometers away from home, totally fine. But if you want to do a long distance trip, this is not the car for you. There are better options available right now. Still, it's a lot of fun to drive this car. Check it out. It's really nice. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.